Deadliest Catch is a Discovery Channel production that premiered in April 2005 and shows viewers the perils faced by crab fishermen working on the Bering Sea during the snow crab and Alaskan king crab fishing seasons, which take place in January and October respectively every year. The gripping reality series is filmed in Alaska's Aleutian Islands and airs worldwide, with the 18th season premiering in April 2022. As is the case with almost all Discovery offerings, human relationships and the rapport between cast members play an important role in the show's success. Often faced with unfavorable weather conditions, including high waves and gale-force winds, it's little surprise that viewers feel sympathy for the camera crews and fishermen as they battle a stressful and often life-endangering work environment. The comings and goings on the boat are the focus of each episode, with the fleet captains getting plenty of screen time, although the rookie crew members, known as greenhorns, are considered by some to be the show's unsung heroes. Some of the fleet members are related, such as the Hansen and Colburn brothers, which adds an extra dimension to their friendly rivalries and occasional spats. Alaskan crab fishing is known to be one of the most dangerous jobs there is, so there are always US Coast Guards, USCG, rescue squads on standby. These squads have saved the day plenty of times, especially during the losses of FV Ocean Challenger, FV Big Valley, and FV Katmai, which occurred between 2005 and 2008. They can often be seen helping out crew members in tricky situations caused by the Bering Sea's harsh conditions. Although there's no on-camera host on Deadliest Catch, there are narrators, Mike Rowe for North America and Bill Petrie for UK, who explain and connect each storyline. While a mock-up radar screen showing the position of each ship takes viewers from one boat to another, originally, Mike was intended to be the on-camera host and had appeared in many episodes of Season 1. When he was forced to choose between being an on-camera host for Dirty Jobs or Deadliest Catch, the narrator picked the former, and most of the taped footage he shot for the first season was turned into a behind-the-scenes episode. From Season 3 onwards, Mike also began hosting After the Catch, a post-season miniseries that takes place entirely behind the scenes, and in which the captains have a roundtable discussion and look back on their best and worst moments of the season. Blurring or pixelization is often used to keep the show, which is rated TV-14 in the US, age-appropriate. Bloody injuries, finger gestures, and profanities are commonplace due to the stressful nature of the cast members' jobs. The Wizard and Northwestern crews are the stars of Deadliest Catch, and have appeared in pretty much every season since 2005, while other fishing vessels have come and gone over the years. Keith Colburn, captain of the FV Wizard, is something of a celebrity in the crab fishing industry. With hundreds of thousands of fans across his social media platforms, the mustachioed Californian, who is famous for his no-nonsense attitude, works alongside his brother Monty, Tyler, and Todd Gateman, his first mate Gary Soper, and a few deckhands. Born in March 1963, Keith has been married to Florence, with whom he shares 2 children, for decades. His fishing adventure began in late 1985, when he and his best friend, Kurt Frankenberger, caught a flight to Kodiak, Alaska, with just $50 and a tent between them. Allured by the money-making potential and determined to try something new, Keith started out at the bottom and joined the crew of the FV Alaska Trader as a greenhorn with no experience. Soon falling in love with the lifestyle, Keith joined the Wizards as a full-share deckhand just 3 years later. Between 1990 and 1992, he earned his USCG 1600-ton mate's license and 1600-ton inspected masters, transitioning from deckhand to pilot. Mentored by John Jorgensen, who came from a long line of pioneer commercial fishermen, Keith learned to trust his instincts instead of following the crowd, which has often paid off enormously. In 2002, the Wizard found itself all alone at sea after venturing 200 miles further north than the rest of the boats. A risky decision that could have had tragic consequences ended up being a record-breaking year, as Keith and his crew caught 540,000 pounds of snow crab, compared to the average catch of 130,000 pounds. 2 years later, the captain repeated his strategy and caught a total of 400,000 pounds of crab, compared to the second best catch of 250,000 pounds and the average catch of 125,000 pounds. Although the energetic Californian shows no signs of slowing down, and has lent his expertise to dozens of Deadliest Catch spin-offs such as documentaries and TV series. Keith is also an aspiring public speaker who is looking to expand his brand. Cooking is just another of his passions that he's been able to make money from, as the Captain launched his own line of sauces and dry rubs in 2015. The roaring success of Captain Keith's catch line surprised many people. However, long before becoming a celebrity crab fisherman, Keith began working in French restaurants at the tender age of 14, gradually climbing up the ranks from saucier to sous chef to executive chef. Unsurprisingly, crab and seafood in general are the staple of Keith's signature dishes. Now, moving on to the FV Northwestern, which is captained by Sig Hansen. His brother Norman helps keep things running smoothly as the engineer and deckhand, while Sig's daughter Mandy is the captain in training, primed to take over her father's position when the timing's right. Mandy's husband Clark is the boat's greenhorn, making things a real family affair, which is fitting, keeping in mind that Sig and Norman are descended from a long line of Norwegian fishermen. Their grandfather and great-grandfather were opilio crab fishing pioneers who became enormously popular within the industry after helping crab boats earn money all year round, and not just for a few months a year. Enthralled by the family business, Sig began working on his father's Sverre's boat when 14 years old, and perfected his skills after graduating from high school. Spending roughly 10 months a year in Alaska on the Bering Sea, Sig became a relief skipper shortly after his 22nd birthday. His tasks consisted of relieving the Northwestern's other captains and doing short-haul stints on the fleet's other boats. The Northwestern, which Sig had been running full-time since he was 24 years old, had been hailed for its safety record, with a much lower serious injury rate than average and no deaths at sea to date. In 2005 and 2006, the fishing vessel caught the highest poundage of king crab and opilio crab, respectively, and won the final Derby seasons in Deadliest Catch. Much like Keith, Sig has spent years laying the foundation for a comfortable retirement. In 2010, he co-wrote his first book, North by Northwestern, a seafaring family on deadly Alaskan waters, which became a Wall Street Journal and New York Times bestseller. Months later, he would appear on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, when he spoke of his desire to be a contestant in the following season of the hit reality show, Dancing with the Stars. It's rumored that the Seattle native negotiated a much higher salary to return to Deadliest Catch for Season 7, as he announced his departure from the program in September 2010, but backtracked just a month later. Although his transition from fisherman to A-lister didn't quite work out, Sig also competed in Season 14 of The Celebrity Apprentice and did voiceover work on Cars 2. The cast of Deadliest Catch has been plagued by several deaths since 2005, with one of the saddest being Captain Phil Harris in 2010 at the age of 53, actually from a massive stroke. Tony Lara, the former captain of FV Cornelia Mary, would die just 5 years later at the age of 50, after suffering a massive heart attack while asleep. Blake Painter and Justin Tennyson, who were aged 38 and 33 at the time of their deaths, both passed away under what some fans call mysterious circumstances. Blake, who had a brief stint in Deadliest Catch in 2006 as the Mavericks captain, was found dead at home. No official cause of death was given, despite rumors of an accidental overdose. Meanwhile, Justin died in a hotel room in Alaska, mere days after returning from the sea. The cause of death was later announced as complications from sleep apnea. Tragedy struck once again with the death of Nick McGlashan in December 2020. 2 days after Christmas, the Tennessee native, who had 2 children, was found dead of a drug overdose at just 33 years of age. One of the first persons to receive the bad news was his close friend and captain, Bill Wichrowski. Although Sig and other cast members offered their support and condolences, Bill took Nick's death the hardest in a heartbreaking tribute episode which was attended by the deck boss's family and every current cast member. Bill threw Nick's hook into the ocean and fired off expired flare guns in his friend's memory. He also said over the radio, "We're gonna say goodbye to Nick McGlashan, but he'll always be with us. I love you guys, the other cast members, for coming in on this. I'm really blown away. Thank you." Nick had been open regarding his past addictions to alcohol, meth, and heroin, and had checked into rehab in 2017, causing him to miss out on the show's 13th season. As mentioned, commercial fishing is one of America's most perilous jobs, with a 141.7 per 100,000 fatality rate. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the occupation was 75% more dangerous than being a flight engineer, logger, or pilot. With that being said, Alaskan king crab fishing is a whole different story, due to the Bering Sea weather conditions, which is what makes the show even more interesting. The pilot episode of Deadliest Catch claimed the injury rate for crew members on most boats is nearly 100%, and the death rate averages almost one fisherman per week during the main crab seasons. Ice formations and frigid gales aside, crab fishermen must wrangle complicated and heavy machinery on the boat's deck, which is constantly moving. As of 2005, 80% of the deaths in the Alaskan king crab fishing industry had been caused by drowning or hypothermia. There were reportedly over 300 fatalities per 100,000, somewhat higher than the official figure. The derby versus quota fishing systems has also been a topic of controversy. Until 2006, crews of king crab fishermen would compete during a small time window. With the implementation of the individual fishing quota system, or IFQ, owners of crab boats were given quotas to fill at a more leisurely pace. Although the IFQ systems claimed to be safer and was expected to increase crab's market value, many crews were put out of work as the owners of small boats failed to meet operating expenses with their assigned quotas. After the first crab fishing season under the IFQ system, just 89 boats remained, with over 160 being left unemployed. Deadliest Catch is clearly not for the faint-hearted, but some viewers have also criticized the on-screen bullying of greenhorn fishermen by veteran deckhands. In earlier seasons, a fisherman berated his captain and was fired almost instantly, which is somewhat understandable. However, a more memorable incident that took place on the fishing vessel Wizard saw a greenhorn sailor punch a more senior fisherman who had subjected him to constant bullying and harassment. Outraged fans of the show took to social media to express their disappointment at the decision, with others claiming that the greenhorn took things too far by resorting to physical violence. Such is the stress of the industry in which these fishermen work.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.